Hi, I'm James Lamont, Fellow at the Vidine Center for Rural Economic Development at the University of Minnesota, Crookston. Today we are going to talk about the drought and how it impacted the upper Midwest. Nationally, the drought was among the worst in a millennium. In the West, we had massive wildfires, dried up aquifers, dried up lakes, whereas in the Midwest, we saw significant challenges as well that rivaled those of the West. At its peak, North Dakota had 99% of its state rated at one form of drought or another, anywhere from a severe drought all the way through a mild one. States like South Dakota were close to 80%, Michigan 70, and then Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin about half of the state when you take the aggregate. The drought's impact in the upper Midwest not only left wildfires in the western part to sort of influence air quality standards, but we noticed that there were a number of west or midwestern wildfires as well. We also had major water supplies as it pertained to agriculture and across the region crop stress. Holistically, it is unknown what the future of the aquifers will bear because it does take a long time for them to refill. I mean, we're talking about thousands of years, so we don't know quite what the impact will be on water sources moving forward. Specific impacts by state in the Dakotas, we experienced massive shortages of hay. This naturally led to a number of ranchers having to sell their herds because they couldn't afford or couldn't access hay or water sources. In Michigan and Minnesota, we had some of the largest wildfires recorded in those states, especially in the northern parts. In Iowa, we saw major water supply concerns. In Michigan, fruit growers had to use, earliest ever, had to use irrigation in the month of June or even early June. Also, when you take the aggregated upper Midwest as well as the southern Canadian provinces, the prairie provinces, we saw crop stress, which led to potential reduced yields in some areas. And as you know, with respect to crop insurance, you have to reach a certain amount of degradation and destruction in order to leverage it. So it kind of put a hurt on farmers that were already experiencing low margins to begin with. In addition, hay challenges in the upper Midwest spread across not just the Dakotas, but other states where you had ranching communities. And the federal government, as well as state governments, had to step in and create special loan programs to help bridge the gap or create bridge loans for farmers to use during this period. All of this coincided with increasing prices for inputs within these farms. So, implements and other dealers, as well as other equipment operators, etc., were forced to increase their costs while at the same time passing it on to customers, which ended up being farmers and ranchers that were struggling financially to begin with, especially on the right side of the legislature or on the ledger. Thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you in our next series.